did a very typical Barbara thing. She asked us what we did for a living. 5 minutes later, I was teaching speech and Rachel was teaching photography. So I hadn't gone there that day to get a job, but I wound up with a kid in AESA and a job. So, and that's just how Barbara works. You ever know somebody who manifests amazing things? Like they're like, wouldn't it be great? This is how my wife works. She manifests things. My wife, one time we were living in LA and she said, you know, wouldn't it be great if we just went around the country while you did stand up and we all lived in an RV and we homeschooled the kids? And I was like, yeah, sure, or whatever. And about a month later, we were living in an RV, homeschooling the kids. And Barbara's exactly like that. Like, if I ever need something good to happen in my career, I'll just say, Barbara, if I got the Tonight Show, I'll donate all the money from it to AESA. And I guarantee I'll get the Tonight Show in a week. I'll be handing Barbara a check, because that's how she works. She just, you know, I think the school started, you said, with a loan from your mom, right?
It did.
Yeah, it started with like a $5,000 loan from her mom, and a dream from somebody who was very tired of the way private schools and public schools worked. Not to bag on them, but just tired of the limitations inherent therein. It's cool though. I do love teaching kids now though, because I feel like kids know more now because of the internet, you know, for good and for bad. Do you guys remember life before the internet? All right, I was born before email. I know that sounds horrible to a lot of the kids here. Do you remember growing up when you would just like not know things? All right, that was like life before the internet. You would just like not know things like all the time. Right? You just like, you'd be in the car with your friend, you'd be like, who was the actor in that movie? And your friend would be like, I don't know. And that was it. You would like never know that. But if you do that now to like one of these kids, it's like immediately they're like, who is that actor? That was Dave Jurgensen. And here I'm on his IMDb page. It looks like he did a couple episodes of Law & Order. And then he went into directing. He did a little voiceover work. Now he runs an alpaca farm in Vancouver. There he is today. Here, I just signed you up for his list. You'll get updates and discounts on wool. And you want a fleece? What are you, a medium? 2-day shipping. Here you go. You got a fleece like two. What's an alpaca? It says here it's an animal. Apparently it's an ungulate. I don't know what that is. All right, well, let's go to ungulates.com. Ungulates are animals that chew its cud, and let's go to their Facebook page. We like ungulates now, so that's good. And it says here that alpacas, they kind of look like a goat got together with a llama, if you know what I mean? And they live in the Andes. I don't know. I do see people like overuse their phones. You ever see people like text message for 20 minutes? I see this like HEB all the time. Some guy's shopping, and then he gets a text, and now he's not shopping anymore. He's just like standing in front of bread for half an hour, like, what? All right. She wants to say, and I share the same thing too as a dad of an AESA kid. Feeling of gratitude for the parents of AESA. Thank you guys very much. How about a round of applause for the parents? If you didn't send your kids here, there'd be no AESA. And going back even further, if you didn't make your kids, there'd be no AESA. So congrats on making your kids. And we thank you for making your children. And the staff and coaches of the Polo Club, I think we already thanked them again. So again, thank them. Barbara would like me to thank the Drippings. I feel like I'm accepting an Oscar for someone. Barbara Garza couldn't be here tonight. She had finals this week. So on behalf of her, I'd like to accept this Oscar and thank the Dripping Springs and Austin businesses that have backed the event tonight. And let me just talk real quick about what it's like to teach at AESA and what I see in AESA. And again, I don't want to bag on it on public schools, but I just want to talk a little bit about the difference. One difference, as you guys know, with AESA is the flexible schedule, right, which really works out. So it's a school for kids with dreams. So if the kid wants to play tennis, great. They can let him practice for 2 or 3 hours in the morning and then build their class schedule around that. And if the kid has to travel for a tournament, they can get the work to him. If the kid wants to go volunteer at a hospital 5 times a week, they can do that. You know, it's whatever the kid's dream is, they can work around that. I have kids, it's not just if the kid wants to be an athlete, if they want to be something when they grow up. Like I have 2 kids in my speech class that want to be rocket scientists, which is awesome. And they're freshmen, and they're taking all sorts of advanced math that they wouldn't be able to take if they were in a regular public school, just because the public school wouldn't be able to accommodate that. And they're able to pursue that early here. So not only can they tailor the schedule for the kid, but they can push the kid forward academically and say, you know, Barbara doesn't have to go through a big committee or a set of rules. She can make them up, basically, and say, okay, you're smart enough to be in that class, you're in that class. So I think that's wonderful. And one of the things that I've run into just as a parent, I don't know if you guys have done this, my child has been in public school for a long time. We sometimes we have to miss days, you know, because we want to go on vacation or stuff like that. A friend of ours just took their kids to Japan for a cultural experience, and the school said they missed too many days of school, and now the parents have to go to a class on truancy because they took their kids to Japan for a cultural experience. And we've had to do that class twice because we like to take our kids traveling too. And twice now we've had to go and sit there and have them go, you understand attending school is important to your child's education. Yes, but we were taking them to museums and stuff. That's not important. What's important is that they're here every day because that's how the public schools get funded. They get funded on attendance. So that's not how AESA works. You can take your kid around the world if you want. And what Rach and I wanted to do for our kids as they got older was replicate the feeling we had when we were in the RV. As I said, we traveled around the country for 6 months, just going gig to gig to gig. Every museum we could see, every national park. It was amazing, the most amazing learning experience ever for my kids. And we wanted to replicate that feeling as they got older, but we don't, like a lot of you, I don't have time to homeschool my kids, right? And we found a school with small class sizes that's basically like homeschooling your kids. It's that level of individual attention, but without you actually having to like learn trigonometry, because I don't think I could teach my kid that, right? I'm already past the point where I can help them with math. So I just really love that about it.